Welcome to Hustle and Grind Lifestyle Podcast. Today is our second episode, and we're gonna interview you. How about that? Are you ready for the most difficult questions ever?
I am.
Okay, good. So let's get this cracking. So, first question, Miss Adrianna, I have for you is where are you from? How did you end up here in Ireland?
So I'm originally from Poland. I live here like 15 years and I moved here with my family.
Great. So, tell me, did you finish any school here or did you go to any college?
Yeah, I went to secondary school here and also college. So I've obviously done my leaving cert, my junior cert, my leaving cert, and then I went to college and I studied food science and management.
And how was that? Did you enjoy
Grand.
it? Was it difficult?
Well, college, yeah, it kind of turned out to be not exactly what I wanted. I thought I was going more into like nutrition and dietetics, but it turned out to be like all about like biology of food, which was totally not my interest. But I finished it regardless. It was like a 2 years higher certificate course. So I did that, but I have actually proceeded on doing some more nutrition stuff like a bit further on
Fair
in
play
my
to you because
life.
if it was me, I would probably drop out a long time ago. So tell me, what was your first job once you finished school, college? What was your kind of like a first job, legal job, obviously?
So first it wasn't like I wouldn't even call it like an official job. I used to just like help out my mom. She used to work in like a kind of like a company doing up some stuff in like offices, like helping out with like housekeeping in offices and then also doing like little catering things. So like let's say if there was like a meeting in an office, she'd get like a call and say, "Oh, there's a meeting, blah blah blah. Like have this set up for um this and that time." So we'd have to like collect the catering stuff and like prepare like coffees and stuff like that and like bring them into a meeting. And then after that, so I did that kind of a little bit during college. So like once I hit like 18 and I could like illegally work, I did that for a couple of months. Um, but at the same time, I started a job in Holland and Barrett, so in a supplement
Really?
shop.
What was that? Like, was it in city center or somewhere?
Yeah, I was in. It was in actually city center in Dublin. It
Oh,
was in
nice.
the ILAC center.
Wow.
I
Wow.
was there for quite a while. I was only doing like Sundays, as I was in college, and the weekends. And then if there was any extra, like if I had like a shorter day in college or whatever, I would always like put myself forward for like extra hours and whatever. So yeah.
Cool. I know you used to work for Charlotte Tilbury in Brown Thomas for years as a leading makeup artist. What was your experience like working for CT?
It was amazing. Probably, one of the best makeup companies to work for at the time. I also started working there when the brand really just launched in Ireland.
When was
So
that?
that was, oh my God, like that was, I think, over like 10 years ago.
Wow. So you
Um,
are very long in makeup industry now.
yeah, so I started working there, as I said, like when they launched in Ireland. The brand was fairly new and no one really kind of knew who Charlotte was or like what it was. People didn't even realize it was like a person behind a brand. So myself and like my team, like obviously the team that I worked with, we kind of like had to introduce Ireland to Charlotte Tilbury and yeah, it was really, really cool because I was there, at the very beginning. So, like, I experienced to see like the brand grow in Ireland, and from pretty much like almost day one, I was there from day one, but like very soon after. Um, and it was really cool because I helped to like with like launch of other stores. Like I was like sent to like support the like opening
Wow. So
days and
you've done so much for them.
yeah, it was cool because obviously we had like a small team at the time, um, and I just loved it. Like when it comes to like Charlotte Tilbury, like the reason I started working there because I loved her. I admired her as a makeup artist. I loved her like ethos of the brand. I loved how she was like using makeup to like enhance people's beauty. And that's what she kind of has like revolutionized in like makeup industry as well, I think. um as she like launched around kind of obviously the world, um, the makeup industry kind of changed slightly. Like the makeup style started like paring down a little bit. Um, and I love that about it. So for me, it wasn't difficult, and I love the product. And like I was there myself like 8 years. I started as like actually I started as a freelance artist with the brand because it was so small. Like there was only about like 8 people, I think, when I started working there, including like the management, and there was not like any like contracted jobs available. So I have left my job as an assistant manager in another store, like in the store when I worked for Holland and Barrett, and I have kind of committed to like 16 like guaranteed hours, but like not contracted hours. And like what was so cool, like I committed to is so much that like
Right.
I have like begged them to give me a contracted like
And eventually that happened, right?
yeah. So within a month I was offered full-time contracted retail artist job, and then
Awesome.
from there I kind of made my way up to like senior artist, then a lead artist, and then senior lead artist, which was kind of like at the
Cool.
counter, like the highest position you could get to.
All right. So tell me, if you had to pick top three products of Charlotte Tilbury, I'm not sure if I always have difficulty to pronounce the name of CT, right? But anyway, so if you had to pick top three products, what would they be?
Charlotte Tilbury, yeah.
Yeah, top three.
I mean, I obviously now
It's
being
probably hard because she has like thousands of them.
yeah, and I think it's more difficult now because like obviously when I worked there, Charlotte Tilbury was like my everything. Where now being a freelance makeup artist, like I obviously have like so many more favorites now from other brands. But like if you're saying Charlotte Tilbury, like I would say definitely her Flawless Filter. Um, it's like a glow primer sort of base product and stuff like that. Like you probably have zero interest in that.
No, I'm just here to ask questions.
So Flawless Filter. I would definitely say her Pillow Talk, whether it's the lip liner or the lipstick, like this is the color I have on now, and like you'll always see me wear that. And I definitely would have to say that like her cheek ones. Oh no, I would have to say her powder because I couldn't do makeup without it. I feel like the cheek products I could replace with something, but the powder, the airbrush powder.
Right, so that's your top three.
Not that it means anything to you personally, but
No.
people interested in makeup will know.
Last time I checked, I never used any makeup so far in my life. So, but hey, you never know. Anyway, so next question for you: how important do you think makeup is for women, and why? It's a more deeper question.
Well, I think obviously from being a makeup wearer and being a makeup artist, I think it is super important for a lot of us who actually like because there obviously is women who don't wear makeup, and I would never force anyone to do so. Everyone can use a makeup different way, but for me, makeup is like it's a real like confidence boost, and me personally as a makeup artist, what I love to like what I see the makeup like means to like my clients. It's like, it's for me, as I said, like my makeup style is I love to use it to like enhance people's beauty. So I like to like bring out their features using the makeup, I don't like to use it like create a completely different person with makeup, and like, I'm all for it. Like who everyone has a different makeup style, but like I think one of the biggest thing is like the transformative part. Like, but it's more like, you can see people kind of transform in a sense, like because they look good, like they feel good.
You
So
kind
it's
of
not
bring out the best features out
yeah.
of them.
So that's the thing. But for me, it's a transformation. But it's not like
That's why I've
just
seen a lot of your past clients. They practically crying once they saw their face.
yeah. Well, like
Very
that's my
emotional for them.
favorite. But
Very
yeah,
emotional
like
for them.
and it's
Like I'm sure. I mean, a lot of guys like myself, we don't really understand how important makeup is for women.
yeah, it's like that. Like it's it just makes them feel good, just because like obviously it's linked to the like the outside, but what I love is like when someone just says like, wow, I look so good and like I feel so good. That's like I think my favorite part. And obviously like what I specialize in is, bridal makeup is like my favorite thing to do. I do special occasion makeup, all sorts of different styles, but I think bridal is like my favorite because it's about
It's a big
creating like,
event for that person, and
yeah, like
it's like most of the times it's one in a lifetime.
yeah,
For some people, it's like
hopefully.
fucking five something.
No,
But
hopefully it's, but it's about, it's like one of the most special days for so many people. And I just love to make them look like the best version of themselves, and when they look at this makeup in like, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, I want them to just, look at themselves and be like, whoa, like I would still wear the same makeup. Like I would still wear this makeup. I just look so good. Not like, not just like, oh, my makeup is so nice. It's just like, as a whole, like I look and feel so good. So,
cool.
yeah.
When you do a makeup for a client, or when you see other women wearing makeup on the street, what is, oh, that's way too much.
So,
Because people are like, as a man, as like when it comes to my opinion, I don't really like women wearing too much of makeup. I like something more natural when I see a female walking around, even tiny bit of it. But some women do too much. So what is too much for you?
well, personally, like there's different levels of too much. So you might not even realize that I have a lot of makeup on,
Yeah,
but the
but
way I use
he
it,
doesn't. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Because yeah, I've seen you like preparing before we start shooting this right here. So it's been like it took you a good few minutes, right?
yeah,
But the way you put it on, it just looks very natural.
yeah.
So I don't really say it. If somebody like myself looking at you or other men looking at you right now, they'll be like, okay, that's tiny bit. You can see here and there, whatever. But it's not too much. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. Cause,
So,
and what is actually, if you can elaborate, what is too much makeup for you?
well, too much. I think too much is personally is when I see things that are like unblended, that you can see like, first of all, when someone has foundation, like their base and their face not matching their neck, I think that's like one of the worst things for me personally. As a makeup artist, I just really dislike when, someone has like a really orange face and then like pale body. Or the other way around, someone has like like tan on and they don't have like they have a lot paler foundation on. um you could be any By the way, you could be any color you want to be once you like blend it the right way and it like make it look more natural. And for me, I think, with makeup as well, is when you see like harsh lines and like too much contrast between each part of the face, because you could wear, like as I said, like a lot of makeup, but you could make it like really nice and like blended and like smooth and just like make the like use the right shades and tones for yourself. But I think what I think is worse when it comes to beauty, what I see these days is more like those like eyelashes, but like they are, I know it's not makeup, but it's like obviously part of like the beauty routine. And for me as a makeup artist, I personally really dislike it when I have a client and they have like those lash extensions. They're like those semi-permanent eyelashes, and they are like way too big and too chunky for like their eyes and face, because it takes away from the entire look. And for me, like sometimes I'm like kind of afraid if I'm doing like a makeup, like, because people like those for convenience. Some people don't wear a lot of makeup, but they will have those eyelashes done, and they can be done so well that you like they just enhance them. But when they are too much, if I finish a look and then I see the eyelashes and they just don't go with the entire look I've done, it's just almost like I really hope people think that I didn't stick these eyelashes on this client. And I think as well, eyebrows is a big thing when they are like too big and too dark and not well like shaped for someone's face. I think these are the two things.
Cool.
But I suppose these are done kind of like, they could be done with makeup, because some people actually will stick on eyelashes on a client, like, like strip lash on a client. They're too much. And same with eyebrows. They can be painted on the wrong way. So I think these two things just make me kind of put off. And obviously when the foundation's not matching. But at the same time, makeup is, it can be used for anybody. Like if someone wants to look a little bit more dramatic with the makeup on, I think if you do it the right way, I'm all for it.
Awesome. So tell me, I know you're supposed to go to Victoria's Secret in New York City. That's been a good few years ago, right? Tell us the story. What exactly happened?
Well, this was probably one of like my biggest like career highlights.
Yeah,
That
Victoria's
has
Secret.
yeah, that
Wow,
has like not
it's incredible.
actually like happened. That happened, but it didn't happen. So those who know me might have like heard about it. Like this was a few years ago. This was like 2018, I believe. So Charlotte Tilbury. This was obviously when I worked in Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury. She was like the leading, well, the makeup artist for the Victoria's Secret show, um, and we have been like they've chosen a team to obviously go and support the show, and it was in New York. So there was, I think, 5 or 6 of us picked from like Europe, from like Ireland, to go and assist. There was like some UK team and obviously people based in New York as well. So I was one of the people that was picked to go. We were like picked like about like I think this was like a month before we were due to go to the show. I think the show was in November, being recorded in November, and we were told like a month in advance. So we were obviously sent like ESTA visa applications, like booked our hotels and flights and so on. So yeah, so I've done all that. It was all done through the company. Now the only issue is that, as I mentioned, like I'm Polish and I have a Polish passport. So this was something that was really like overlooked. So
Was it
I
was it was it like your fault or what
well,
happened?
I don't like this. I wouldn't say it was kind of half my fault, half like I
Because you
feel
didn't
like.
check yourself
Well, yeah, like because I've never been to States prior to this
before. Yeah,
situation,
that's
and no one from my family, my close family, has either. So there was no one that like could like advise me. So what happened is like I have done my ESTA and so on, and was accepted online. We forward them onto our like HR like head office. They have booked our flights, our hotels, and so on. And then like 3 days before um the show, we were allowed to like fully announce, because it was all under embargo, like about who was going and stuff like that, because I know there might have been some people who would not like be pleased they weren't picked. So like 3 days before the show, we were allowed to like announce that we were going. So amazing. Obviously I shared on my Instagram and everything, and loads of people like congratulating me and telling me, make sure you share like behind the scenes and backstage and blah blah blah. Anyway, going forward to the day of like the day before the show when we were flying, we're going to the airport. Me and the girls met in the airport in the morning. We're going like checked in. Um, going down to the pre-clearance, because you have to do another check-in when you're going to America from Dublin.
it's just so many check-ins
Yeah,
at once.
so like I have never been to States before, so I had like no fear, and some of the girls were like really kind of almost like scared, and I was like worried, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And they were like, oh, they start asking you all these questions and stuff like that. So they were like, just don't mention you're going for like work or whatever. We were just told to like say we're going to an event, because once you mention work and stuff like that to the Americans, sometimes
Yeah,
they get
obviously,
a bit
'cause,
like funny about it.
Yeah, because
You
you
know,
go be like,
yeah, like
working illegally without any like a permission.
yeah, like we were going through the
It's obvious.
company, and but we were literally flying out, let's say, I don't remember what day of the week it was, let's say Tuesday. We were doing the show on Wednesday and we were coming back on Thursday. I don't remember obviously what day of the week it was, but let's say that way. So we were there literally for like 3 days, if even. So I go up to the pre-clearance, and the guy is like, straight away he's looking at my passport and he's looking at my ESTA, and straight away he's like, Polish with an ESTA? And I was like, I had no idea what was going on. It was the ESTA visa. Um, and he was like, no, that's not correct. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, no, no, no. Like, you with your passport, like, this is 2018, right? So at the time, Polish people needed an actual visa, like through the embassy. Like you needed to make an appointment to get the visa, possibly get or not get the visa, and then perhaps you were allowed to go through. And basically, they brought me in. Okay, they brought me in to like question and check like what went wrong, and basically, I was not supposed to have an ESTA, and because my passport was renewed in Dublin, I thought there was like a question in ESTA application that I should say where it was like country of the origin of the passport or something like that, and I said Dublin or Ireland, and it was actually originally from Poland because obviously it was made in the embassy, like the Polish embassy in Dublin, where I renewed my passport, but it was just like not correct. So somehow it went through. So basically, at the end, I still think I'm going. So, but these two officers like bring me out in a lift, and then we go in the lift, and then they're just like, we come out at arrivals, and they're like, oh, you're just gonna go here and like collect your bags. And I was like, what you mean? They were like you're not going. And I was like, what do you mean you're not going? Like, I'm not going. Like, the show is tomorrow. They're like, well, like you won't be able to get like a visa application like in a day. So yeah, so that was my my dream basically being like shattered to bits.
Yeah,
And then
you were
literally
devastated.
a year later, when Donald Trump was the president of America, he has like changed like
He suspended the visas.
yes, he like changed the legislation. So like a year, if that was a year later, I would be able to travel on an ESTA, but that was too late.
Yeah, that's just like
So yeah, but still even
heartbreaking.
yeah, but like still
But again, we went to New York a few times now, so
yeah, but like even the
But
fact that I
it's
was
just
chosen,
sad
I
that-
thought was
yeah.
like yeah, because like the worst thing for me was I was in like a WhatsApp group of like everyone who was going. And at like 2 a.m., which was like whatever time in New York, obviously with the time difference, I was
maybe 6
getting like
hours difference, right?
I was getting like pictures. Like it was the middle of the night here, and I was getting
Yeah.
pictures of like Adrianna Lima and like Gigi Hadid and like Kendall Jenner and like everyone like backstage.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, oh my god, like that was probably the worst part ever.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. I can only imagine. So tell me, let's move on to a different topic. I know you're into fitness, and also you are a personal trainer too, like myself. When did your fitness journey begin, and what did it spark it up?
So I think what like I was complete opposite to you. So I never been into sports.
No,
I
I
hated
thought you were into sports.
no. I hated sports. In fact,
So
like
now
any
you're telling people to do burpees and shit, and you were never into sports. Wow, that's crazy.
no, but so yeah, so I was never into sports. In fact, if there was like PE classes, I hated them. I used to write myself
Really?
notes as my mom
Wow.
and say that like I wasn't able to do the classes.
Wow. I used to live in a gym. I'm sorry, but we are completely opposite. I used to live, breathe sports, like sleep, everything sports. I hated school, but sports was my thing. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
I told you loads of times. Basically, what has gotten me into fitness is when I moved here to Ireland. Like I've always been like a little bit like bigger than average. I would say
you
I
mean?
wasn't. I was never skinny. I was like thick boned.
Listen,
I would say.
What do you mean bigger than average? Can you elaborate on that?
No, like I've okay. So I have never been
You were
a skinny
fat.
child. No, I was like I was not fat, but I was just like
I don't think you can use word fat nowadays. Anyways, you were just on a bit of a
I said I was thick
thicker,
boned.
thick boned, like big boned, a little
Big
bit.
boned, yeah,
Yeah.
basically. So when I moved to like Ireland specifically, I loved the food was so different here. Like obviously a
completely
little
different.
bit more like processed as well, and a lot more accessible as well, I think, and cheaper than when I
Yeah, that's
lived
actually
in.
crazy if
yeah.
you think about it. Like people here make way more money compared to Polish people. In
Yeah, but
Poland.
the food is even cheaper
And
compared
here is
to.
even cheaper. Like everything is, if you look at it, like even everything is cheaper here than in Poland, and people in Poland make less money. That's crazy. I don't know what the government in Poland is doing. It's mad.
Basically, I really enjoyed the food. And then at some stage, I noticed that I was a little bit bigger than I would like to be. So I started, it wasn't as accessible to just like join a gym, where especially where I live. And yeah, so I started doing a bit of running, and then I was like watching like YouTube videos at home, like, and do like workouts from them. We had like a stationary bike at home as well because my mom bought it, and I was just like doing like a little bit of that. I had no idea about nutrition, nothing like that. No one from my family was ever into fitness either. So then once I turned 18, I joined a local gym with a friend.
What was the name of the gym?
It was actually a GAA gym for
GAA.
like where I lived in Leixlip in Kildare. So where like when the GAA players weren't using the gym,
You were
like
allowed to
general
go in.
public was allowed to go in, but there was no like proper trainer or anything like that to advise you what to do. So I used to just like spend all the time like on the treadmill, and I did that for probably about 2 years. And I had like a Brazilian friend, Mikhaili, if she's watching it, and she was like hitting the weights hard, like, and she had like proper six pack. She would like go home and like eat pizza after the workout, and she'd still have a six pack. And I used to buy like a protein milk,
Unfair.
one of those like Avonmore or Muju protein
Oh,
milks.
yeah, no,
And thinking, I was doing myself favors drinking that, and I always had issues with like weight loss and stuff like that. So it was a lot slower process for me. And then only, I'd say I was around 2021, I actually joined another gym, which was a bigger gym. And I hired a trainer. Well, I had a guy who like helped me out with some weight training. And that's like literally within probably 6 months, I have made way bigger progress with obviously a trainer than I have in like the 2 years or 3 years prior trying to do things on my own.
So it's important to invest in your knowledge, right?
Yeah, big time.
Big time. Because a lot of people, they don't really see value in personal training, especially people who don't know much about fitness, and they don't want to spend any money because they think they're going to Google and find things. But the reality is, there is a profession called personal trainer for a reason. And if you don't know something and you have income available for you to spend, definitely invest in knowledge, even at the beginning. So you're not going to do the same mistake that I'd have done for like 2 years. Because even I've been there. Why do you think women are scared of weights? And why do they still think... I personally hope that women don't think this way anymore. But I've heard many times over the years as being a personal trainer, they're not really keen to lift weights because they're afraid that they're going to turn into a Arnold Schwarzenegger after lifting 2 weeks in the gym.
Well,
I wish to turn to Arnold Schwarzenegger after 2 weeks.
Well, I personally don't think that is the case anymore. Not to that extent it used to be anyway. I think as well, like obviously the fact that it's a lot more accessible, and obviously with social media, there's a lot more awareness around like fitness and like resistance training, and obviously as well importance of resistance training. So I don't think that is the case anymore, where like when I went to the gym like years and years ago, as I said, like I used to be afraid of lifting the weights because I thought I was going to get like big and bulky, whereas obviously there was like a lack of like the nutrition knowledge combined with the right resistance training for me. Because as well for my body type, I noticed that I actually do gain muscle, like, but at the same time I find it a lot more difficult. Like I had higher body fat percentage compared to some other people. So I found that I was getting bigger, but not to a sense where like I was getting like a lot more muscly, and having that big muscle definition, looking bulky. But I was looking bulky in a sense that I was gaining the muscle, I also wasn't dropping the body fat at the same time because I was just eating too much. I just wasn't
kind of
eating
like
the right way.
Was pushing against the
Yeah,
fat.
so I thought
kind
I
of
was
look like
visually looking.
expanded.
Yeah, so I visually thought I was looking bigger than slimmer. But it was just like only when I started learning, obviously, about my caloric needs and so on
That
and so
muscle
on.
burns calories. Muscle is engine, right? And many people don't even know that. But we can actually talk about all these things and scientific approach to losing weight and whatnot on the next episode.
I think it's
right?
a whole other
It's a
episode
whole
for it.
episode. Did you compete? Do you have any desire to compete? Because I know you are a fitness freak at the moment. So tell me.
Yeah, so as we were saying, obviously, about my fitness journey, when I obviously hired a trainer at the time, I've trained with the trainer for, a couple of months and whatever. I just learned like the basics of weightlifting. But then like I moved actually I've moved an area and I moved the county, so I was living in Dublin, and then I had another trainer, and he kind of like, introduced me sort of to like the bodybuilding sort of world, like
Scene,
as
yeah.
yeah, like, I started seeing it a little bit more, and also obviously like Instagram has like grown in that sense too, where like it was a lot more visible as well. So yeah, I was going through this like big life change, and I decided that one of the things I wanted to do was to challenge myself. So I set myself a goal to compete. This was in 2017.
And you did, right?
And I did, and I competed. So I did like a 16-week prep. And
How did you do? How did you do it?
I won my shows. Now they were like you know, compared now, compared to now, like I know like it wasn't the level and standards I would like to do, but like
It is
I
what
wasn't
it is. You
doing
did
this.
it.
I didn't see myself like going any further with this, but my like passion for like the actual bodybuilding lifestyle has like grown since. And obviously then I met you,
Yeah.
and
Well,
you have
I
kind
want
of
to actually
yeah.
elaborate on that because, the first few shows, I personally think, because I competed like 10 times, and, I also have a passion for it. And I see a lot of people who are following me. I see they competed like recently, and those shows were like their first show. I think at the beginning it's all about like building that confidence and kind of understanding how you're gonna feel and knowing your pluses and minuses when it comes to your physique. And then if you're serious about it, then you can keep going, right? But it takes a lot of effort to compete, right?
Well, for me it was more like a character building experience.
Yeah, I think stepping on the stage is just takes so much confidence. Did you feel intimidated when you were on the stage?
Well, yeah, I was shitting myself. I was like, so I'm going from a person who like literally has like lack of body like confidence the entire life. Like I never like liked how I looked. Obviously being a little bit more like not overweight, but like just not liking my body composition, to like imagining that, going through like a biggest fat loss phase of my life, and completely changing my body composition and stepping in like a bikini. Like I knew there was going to be like at least like 100 people like staring at me in a tiny bikini.
Yeah.
Like that was like,
It's
I
crazy.
swear to God. And I was going from being a person who like, I wouldn't wear a crop, like I had six pack and I wouldn't wear like a crop top or like work out in a sports
Because you
bra.
have a little skin moving still, like, oh shit, I'm fat.
Well, like obviously with that comes like a bit of body dysmorphia as
Yeah,
well.
that's
But
crazy. I have that
like
for sure.
I was like, oh my God, like I just did my like this like posing routine, and you can literally see there's like a video footage I have on my phone because like my friends recorded it in the audience, and I'm literally like running off that stage
Yeah.
once I was done.
I think
It
I've
was so
seen the
funny.
video.
Yeah,
of
but
you.
it was like,
You nearly fucking fell.
yeah.
I saw
But,
you like, oh shit, you hit the pose here,
No,
left
I
and
didn't,
right.
I
and
didn't
bam!
fall. Like no,
Bounce.
I didn't fall. Like I was
No, I'm just
pretty
messing.
confident. But yeah, it was
It's scary.
definitely the biggest confidence boost. But I think the main thing about it wasn't like, obviously you're doing this for that final like whatever 1 minute on the stage, but it was like the whole process of like 16 weeks. Like I was working full time. I was,
Tough.
going to the gym, like obviously doing all like, it's like another full-time job,
That's
when you're
crazy,
competing and prepping. So like I think the whole process of the preparation was like, as I said, the most character building experience I have ever had,
Yeah.
because I have not skipped a cardio, I have not had a cheat meal,
It makes you tougher,
nothing like
right?
that. It does.
Mentally.
It's like when you finish this like 16 weeks prep, it's like once you did that, it's like you can do anything in life.
Yeah, it's
Like
very tough,
literally,
right?
you feel like on top of the world. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's very tough.
That's why I know you also asked me, like that's like I kind of feel like an itch to do it again.
You will compete anyway because
Yeah.
we already, I think,
So I've
mentioned
like
about it.
yeah, so I've attempted on, like I was prepping like 2 more times since, but like with like just like COVID and like few other things in life,
Tough.
I kind of, and then some of my shows being cancelled as well, like it just kind of, and then I prioritize obviously my career and stuff like that. You have to have like the right mindset to do it, and I felt like my mindset was like, my mind was elsewhere. I couldn't commit to 100%, but at the moment I feel like I'm like mentally
That's
and
past
physically
now.
ready.
Now
Yeah.
you're gonna start again, and I'm gonna do it with you
Yeah.
anyway. So now, very quick, because we have only a few minutes left. What are your favorite top 5 bikini athletes and why?
So
Where's your top three first?
top three.
Yeah, give me top 3, and then next 2 that are
I
gonna make
think
it top
like
5.
one of the number one that has been
number
for
one?
many years and years and years is Ashley Kaltwasser. Well, Ashley is she's a 3 times Miss Bikini Olympia for those who like have no idea about bodybuilding.
That's fine.
So and she's just like I just love how she is like a representation of the sport. You know, she has been doing this for so many years. She's like the most winning actual pro bodybuilder
And she
in the
also
industry.
up the character.
I think
She's
has like
likable.
won like
That's what
40
it is?
like 40 pro shows
Wow, that's
on top of
crazy.
like whatever amount of
So
shows she's
what
done
is
as
the
an
second
amateur.
place?
And obviously her physique is incredible. She's
Yeah, that's
just
for sure.
like
I mean,
perfect
listen,
in my opinion.
I think anyone who competes on Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia stage, bikini, men's physique.
And she was top 3 this
Yeah.
year as well.
Yeah,
And then Jennifer Dory, who
That's
is
number 2?
current Miss Bikini Olympia.
that's for you number 2. She's number 2,
Yeah.
and she's currently Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, Miss Olympia. Yeah.
So
So
you have high
she's
standards.
this is the second time she's won. And I also like cuz from watching her like I just love her as a person. I love her mindset. I love everything she stands for, how she presents herself within like
It's a
the
full
industry.
package to be a
Full
Miss
package. She's
Olympia,
stunning
right?
as well. She's beautiful and lovely. Like she seems like so down to earth, which what I really resonate with as
Third
well.
place.
And then Angelica Teixeira, who is also twice winning Miss Bikini Olympia. She is just like, again, it's all about, it's like the combination of obviously her perfect physique, and she's just like a complete like physique. She doesn't have like an area that stands out. Like let's say someone has like better glutes, someone has better shoulders, whatever. She's just like the full package, like just perfection. But she's also like, she's a mother, and she's also like, she's just like, again, so down to earth. I love her approach to bodybuilding, and I love how she likes to actually, she shares so much as well. But I just love how she like likes to educate people on like doing bodybuilding the
All right,
right
cool.
way.
So tell me, last 2, 4th and 5th place. Go.
For
4th place.
my physique,
Yeah, top
the,
5.
like,
Yeah, top 5
bikini athletes I like.
4th place.
Well, I think as well, many will think the same as Laura Lee Chapados.
And then 5th.
And then 5th, like straight
hard,
away,
is
I
it?
think Isa Piccini,
Cool.
but it's so hard.
It's tough, isn't
I
it?
also love Phoebe Hagen as well. So like for me, it's so hard. Like you can't,
Very
because
hard.
every girl is so
I think
different.
it's at this stage when you look at all these athletes, right? I think when it comes to like fitness, it's a bikini, men's physique, bodybuilding on Mr. Olympia stage. It's just apple oranges because everyone looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
So okay, cool. So last question for you. We are coming to New Year, literally around the corner. So 1st of January we're gonna have in a matter of a few days. What kind of advice would you give to people thinking about starting a diet or training and they want to lose weight, lose fat, and whatnot? What kind of advice would you give those?
I think one of the biggest thing, I think first of all would be great if you have no idea about fitness or where to start with your nutrition and stuff like that, hire a professional who could get something that is personalized for you specifically, because no diet is the same for every single individual.
What if
they
people
can
cannot afford
they
it?
can do it like accountability wise and stuff like that. If someone cannot do it, just like research, use first of all, use like a calorie calculator online, and find, and like think of it, first of all, think of it as a long process. Like it's a long-term thing if you want to change your lifestyle, and you should think of it as a lifestyle change, not just like a 4, 8, 12 weeks diet type of thing. I think you have to think of it as like, this is something I want to change, because obviously what you change, you want to keep it, so think of it as a lifestyle makeover rather than just like short-term plan. Make sure that you have enough patience and stick to consistency. Patience and consistency is huge in this. And then take progress pictures. What kind of advice would you give someone coming up to like the New Year's with like, you know, reaching or setting fitness and lifestyle goals?
I mean, a lot of things you just said, I will apply those things. People need to be realistic about their goals, how fast you want to get there. Do not think about it as a short-term thing, like Adam mentioned. It's a long term. Do not call it a diet. It's slow lifestyle change. If you can afford help, please do get a coach. Coaches are widely available everywhere, but how to pick a coach, that's another thing. Let's just say I didn't have a coach. I will definitely look at my food intake first, what foods I'm eating. We all know and understand that nothing is built or nothing is achieved without any effort. We cannot build something incredible with minimum effort. In this industry, if you want to lose weight, lose body fat, get in shape, have a six pack, or just get flat belly and become a healthy individual, we all have to control our temptations. Every corner we have takeaways and things like that, right? So we are exposed to things like that all the time. So it's all about calorie intake, controlling your temptations, tracking your calories, because this is for free. You can track calories. There are so many calorie accounting calculators out there. So that's that. All right, Ada, thank you for allowing me to interview you. This is our second episode. Thank you for watching. Follow us, me and her, on social media. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel. This is brand new podcast. We all appreciate any follows, likes, any interaction. Watch out for episode number 3 that is coming up soon as well.
Bye, guys.
Peace.